Welcome back to another Tight End Tuesday where we talk all things tight end. I'm your host, Dominic Daphne, and we are on our last week of Pad to the Draft. And this one, I'm really excited about. I've known this young man since he was in elementary school. I've played football with his uncles in high school. We actually went to the same high school. I've gotten to see him really grow as a high school football player, as a college football player, into the man that he is today. And while it makes me feel a little bit old that he's now being drafted or he's now entering into the draft, I've been happy to see his growth as a player and as a man. And that guy I am talking about is one and only Eli Raridon. Eli is just another addition to the long list of tight ends from the University of Notre Dame entering the draft this season. Now, obviously, dealing with some injuries stifled his development a little bit and wasn't allowing him to show his full potential. But the last season, he showed that he can make plays at the highest level. So now that upside is something that NFL teams are going to be looking at or going to be salivating over because not only is he 6'6", athletic, he's from Iowa. I mean, from the mean streets of West Des Moines, to be specific. And obviously, we all know the best tight ends come from Iowa. So they're going to be looking at his size, his catching ability, his route running ability, and obviously the IQ that he gains from going to Notre Dame. So without further ado, let's get into this tape. Now, for someone with Eli's stature at 6'6", 250 pounds, he really shows off his receiving ability. He can catch the ball with his hands and not just with his body, as you see a lot of big guys like to do. He's going to run a corner route and keep it high away from his defender to give his quarterback a spot to throw the ball and keep it away so that the defender has no opportunity to make a play on the ball. He runs his route, nice release at the line, keeps it high, like I said, so his quarterback gives him an opportunity to catch the ball. And the fact that he is able to locate the ball, track the ball as he's hand fighting his defender away is not something that a lot of tight ends do well. It's not something that a lot of college players do well, if we're going to be honest. So he's able to utilize that receiving ability, utilize that 6'6" frame to not only fight off the defender, but he's able to utilize that receiving ability, his ball skills to catch the ball with his hands, fight off the defender, and come down with a nice catch. Now, not only is he big as 6'6", 250, he's athletic as well. Like I said, he's from Iowa. We can do it all. But because he's an athletic big, you can utilize him up the seam. So what that means is you can run a lot of corner routes. You can run a lot of seam routes, not necessarily to take the top off the defense with his speed, but with his height. On this play, they have him in the slot, and he's going to run a seam route against man, which means he's running a go route up the seam, and it's about a one-high look. And what you'll see is he really knows how to use his frame to his advantage. And what I mean by that is he's 6'6", 250 pounds, like I said, so he understands he's going to be bigger than most DBs, than most linebackers. So in order for him to make plays, let's use what we got in order to get what we want. You know what I mean? So he's going to utilize his long arms. He's going to utilize his strength. He's going to utilize that 6'6" frame to make plays over smaller defenders and to make sticky catches when his quarterback just throws the ball up and says, make a play for me. So his quarterback just throws the ball up and lets him make a play. And you're going to see a lot of quarterbacks ask your tight ends to do that on these seam balls because I have a guy right here on defense, and this is how you know it's man. He is staring you dead in your soul. A lot of times, that means man coverage, unless there's going to be somebody over top. They call it a hat. We won't get too deep into it right now. But when you see a guy staring you into your soul, and a lot of times we'll see he's sitting on the toilet because he's just sitting right here, it's man. So he reads man. The quarterback reads man. Oh, I have a 6'6" tight end. Let me throw the ball to him and have him make a play for me, which is exactly what they do and pick up a nice chunk of change, easy first down. Let's get to Selly. Now, when I say an upside, a big upside, a lot of that has to do with untapped potential. And I think Eli has a lot of that. Now, these next three clips, I'm honestly just going to run. And I want you to put your NFL GM cap on and ask yourself, is this someone I could put on my team, put on the field, and ask him to make plays for me? I want you to do that for a second. He's at the top of your screen, right here. Gonna run a simple out route. I just want you to see what he does. Out route, you'd think he'd be down, right? I don't think so. I don't think so. These are grown men, by the way. Gonna run a little flat route, a little slide route is what we call it. Catch the ball, get up vertical. Nope, no one's bringing me down. Should be down. Score a touchdown. The mentality, the toughness that I talked about, it's not something that can be given. Kind of has to be earned. You know what I mean? It has to be, you have to go through a little bit of fire, a little bit of adversity to play with such a chip on your shoulder that you just refuse to go down in moments like that. Again, bottom of your screen. I just want you to watch. I want you to watch how he plays, the physicality he plays with, and just the relentlessness. Simple out route. Should be down. I don't think so. Should be down. I don't think so. I mean, bring the house. And that's the type of toughness as a GM I want it on my team. And, obviously, like I said, I've known Eli for a while. I've known his family. I know how they get down in the weight room. They're used to it. They have their own. It's what they do. So I know that he knows his way around a weight room, but that mentality of I'm not going down. It's going to take more than one person to bring me down. That's who you want on your team. A guy that says, I don't care. You're going to have to bring 2, 3, 4, 5 guys to tackle me. And if you don't, I'm scoring. And as a GM, that's the type of guy you want on your team. Now, Eli might not be the most talked about tight end in his draft class, but when you combine the size, the catching ability, and the room for growth, that's what GMs are going to be looking for to add to their team. But I always want to add this every year when the draft comes around, that I was a guy who went undrafted, unsigned, didn't get signed until mid-July. I always joke that I got signed in the 10th round of the NFL draft. And I always just say to guys, it's never over. Just keep fighting. Just because your name didn't get called, just because you didn't get drafted, just because you didn't get signed, it doesn't mean that your dream is over. You have an opportunity to keep fighting and to keep working to finalize your dream, to put it in your grasp, and to make it happen. I mean, you're looking at a guy who went undrafted, unsigned, and I made it 6 years in the league. I got an opportunity to change my life because I didn't say no. I didn't quit. I didn't give up. I just kept fighting. And I know that if I can do it, anybody can do it. So I just ask and I pray for everybody this weekend, for everybody in the next coming months to just keep fighting, keep the hope alive, and keep grinding. And that's Tight End Tuesday.